Well, a historic day in the nation's capital, a special counsel bringing another round of 4 federal criminal charges against former President Donald Trump. The indictment involves his actions on January 6th. They allege that he knew he lost the election, but was determined to stay in power. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales joins us now from the federal courthouse with the very latest. Erik.
Well, good evening, Tracy. You can actually see the barrier behind me, along with very much a heavy police presence out here in front of the federal courthouse. Protesters are being kept across the street, but I tell you what, we did capture former President Donald Trump's motorcade when it arrived. It arrived at around 3:15, well ahead of the 4 p.m. arraignment. The Secret Service used an underground entrance, which is in the back of the secure facility. He was booked and processed before he stood before the judge. We did learn that 3 Capitol police officers who were injured during the January 6th insurrection were actually in the courtroom when the former president pled not guilty. Protesters and demonstrators made their voices heard outside the federal courthouse. Inside the unprecedented arraignment of a former president of the United States, fingerprinted, booked, and facing new charges that he tried to keep control of the White House. An alleged criminal scheme that erupted on January 6th when rioters stormed the Capitol.
The attack on our nation's Capitol on January 6th, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies.
The indictment includes more than public statements, also his actions, including a pressure campaign targeting Republican officials and his own Vice President, Mike Pence. The indictment mentions Pence more than 100 times and states the former president told him, "You're too honest."
For my part, I want people to know that I had no right to overturn the election, and that what the president maintained that day, and frankly has said over and over again over the last 2.5 years, is completely false.
Trump's attorney is defending his actions.
Our defense is going to be focusing on the fact that what we have now is an administration that has criminalized the free speech and advocacy of a prior administration during the time that there is a political election going on. That's unprecedented.
The judge presiding over the case is Judge Tanya Chacon, an Obama appointee who has handed down from some very stiff sentences against January 6 defendants. She has also rejected Trump's efforts to block the January 6 committee from obtaining his presidential records, stating from the bench that presidents are not kings. It is starting to rain out here. Again, President Trump is still inside. He is actually, proceedings could last for about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. But that's the very latest from outside the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. This is Erik Rosales reporting for EWTN News Nightly.